Sarah Parker was born in July 1809 as a native of Clavering, situated near Saffron Walden in Essex. In 1828, she entered into marriage with Richard Chesham, a farmer, resulting in the birth of their 6 sons. However, the burden of raising their large family took a toll on their financial stability. Tragedy struck in January 1845 when 2 of the Chesham children, Joseph and James, fell severely ill and eventually died. Disturbing symptoms like vomiting and stomach pains raised suspicions among the local community that foul play was involved. Although a local doctor attributed their deaths to cholera, suspicions of poisoning lingered. The cloud of suspicion darkened further in the following year with the sudden death of Solomon Taylor, an illegitimate neighbor's son. The child had been in good health after birth but rapidly deteriorated in June 1846. Solomon's mother, Lydia Taylor, alleged that Sarah Chesham had fed him rice pudding and apple turnover before his illness. Although the prominent toxicologist Alfred Swain Taylor found no conclusive evidence of poisoning upon examination, the exhumation of Joseph and James Chesham's bodies revealed fatal amounts of arsenic in their stomachs. The legal proceedings commenced, and Sarah Chesham faced her first trial on March 11, 1847, for the deaths of James and Joseph Chesham. Surprisingly, she was acquitted by the jury in a mere 10 minutes. The decision rested on the prosecution's inability to prove her direct involvement in administering the poison, as no witnesses had observed her doing so. The subsequent trial for the murder of Solomon Taylor took place the following day, yet Chesham was acquitted once more, this time under the judge's direction. The court ruled that it had not been definitively established whether poisoning was the cause of Solomon's death. This verdict drew public outrage, with the Times labeling Chesham as an accepted and reputed murderess. Sensationalized media articles propagated claims that she offered her services as a poisoner for a fee and accused her neighbors of complicity for failing to report her suspicious activities. The public sentiment led to Chesham's ostracization, as she encountered taunts like "Sally Arsenic" from locals when traversing the streets. In May 1850, Richard Chesham, her husband, succumbed to an extended battle with tuberculosis. An autopsy revealed traces of arsenic in his body, though the dosage was insufficient to cause death. Throughout Richard's ailment, Sarah had diligently attended to his care, exclusively providing him with milk thickened using rice and flour. Subsequent police investigations resulted in Sarah's arrest, even after a coroner's jury declined to charge her with murder. A substantial quantity of arsenic was discovered in a large sack of rice, from which Sarah had been feeding her husband. Despite Richard's death, Sarah faced charges of attempted murder due to the insufficient arsenic levels to cause fatality. The prosecution argued that she had systematically administered small doses of arsenic to weaken Richard's resistance, rendering him incapable of combating tuberculosis. Testimonies, including one from Hannah Phillips, stated that Sarah had contemplated poisoning her husband and even offered to poison another person's spouse. In the end, Sarah Chesham was found guilty of attempted murder. On May 25, 1851, she met a public execution by hanging, carried out by William Calcraft. Following Sarah's execution, numerous individuals have raised concerns regarding the sufficiency of the evidence presented against her and the overall impartiality of her trial. John Campbell, 1st Baron Campbell, who presided over Sarah's conclusive trial and imposed the death sentence, faced recurrent criticism throughout his career for displaying partiality and attempting to influence juries. During the trial, Baron Campbell openly accused her of being a serial poisoner, a fact that has added to the skepticism surrounding her case. Sarah lacked legal representation and was unable to summon her own witnesses, potentially impacting the fairness of her trial proceedings. The jury's judgment might have also been swayed by media influence, as press coverage over the years between Sarah's initial trials and her husband Richard's demise consistently portrayed her as guilty, even referencing her case when reporting on other suspected poisoning incidents. In a 2019 episode of the BBC series Murder, Mystery and My Family, the case underwent scrutiny, and a new perspective emerged. The episode suggested that the deaths of the victims could possibly have been due to natural causes. Ultimately, the program concluded that Sarah's conviction was subject to doubt and might not stand as secure. In 2020, the Criminal Case Review Commission was petitioned to reassess the eligibility of granting Sarah Chesham a posthumous pardon. However, in 2022, the CCRC declined to issue a pardon, citing insufficient evidence to warrant casting doubt on Sarah's presumed culpability.